my goal, my aim, and my objective here today is to make sure that I buy their heart over to you, to myself, and you'll be left with their body. And instantly, Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam knows that this is shaytan. And there and there, he said, will you get out of this place, O enemy of Allah? But then, shaytan said, before I go away, I have 5 things I want to intimate you about that is going to be beneficial to you. And of that 5 things, I'm going to keep 3 to myself. I'm going to keep 2 to myself and relate 3 to you. And suddenly, Allah revealed, inspired Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, that you do not need those 3 things he wants to tell you. You should command him to tell you about those 2 things he didn't want to tell you. Shaitan said, I have 3 things I'm keeping to myself, and I have 3 things I'm keeping to myself, and I'm not going to tell you 2. And eventually, Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam instructed Shaitan to tell him the 2 that he was willing to keep to himself, and that he does not need those 3 that he wanted to tell him. And he now said, Iblis told Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam now that, now I want to intimate you of those 2 things. The 2 things is that you should beware of al-hasad wal-hirs. The first thing that you should be aware of is envy, because it is because of my enviness that I become accursed till this particular moment. If not for the fact that I was envious of Prophet Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, I would never have been accursed. Anybody who takes to enviness eventually is going to destroy his own righteous acts, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that that we should be wary of enviness, because enviness eats off every righteous act, just like fire eats off dry wood. And that is just one of those things that Shaitan was able to tell Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam. The second thing Prophet Nuh, Iblis told Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam was that he should be wary of not being contented with whatever you've been given. That is al-hirs. And because he said Adam was given everything in the garden. He can go anywhere in the garden. He can eat out of any fruit in the garden, but except just one of the fruits that is not expected to move close to. And Allah said, do not move close to that particular tree, talk less of eating out of its content. But because he was not satisfied as at then, he went, took out of what Allah has forbidden him to do, and eventually he was driven out of paradise. So those are the 2 encounters, those are the 2 things that Iblis told Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, and there are things that we should hold on to and should be very, very careful of. When we discover that someone who is very close to us is being successful, somebody has bought a car and you've not bought your own car, somebody built a new house and you've not been able to build yours. So if you find somebody of in that particular situation achieving bigger strides than you've been able to achieve in your life, you should not be envious of that kind of a person. Because if you're envious of that kind of a person, if care is not taken, somebody will end up like Iblis. So those are key things that can destroy the fabrics of someone's spirituality. And the same thing applies to somebody who lacks contentment. And contentment is one of those things that Muslims should be able to take as part of our character. That's just one of the first encounters of Shaitan with one of the prophets of Islam, and that is Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam. If Shaitan will have the guts to even move close to the prophets of Allah, how much myself and you, we are just like if we don't work as hard as we're expected to work, then if care is not taken, we might end up losing all our goods, our hard-hand righteous actions that we have done on the surface of the earth. And that is a lesson for us to be able to take on to.